Hey everyone, Sarat here, and this week for our little Let's Peek, I thought I'd take a look at, well, a game that was the precursor to another arcade game that I Let's Played a NES port of a very long while back in 1942. A game where you control little P-38 Lightning and blow a whole bunch of apparently Japanese zeros out of the sky. I'm pretty sure that's the whole thing. There is actually sound in the game. And unlike most arcade games at the time, this version, for some reason, only starts you off with 2 lives. But it does let you continue from where you left off. Kind of a novelty at the time. Kind of expected now, but kind of a novelty. You basically have 2 buttons. You can shoot, and you can do a loop where you are basically invulnerable for a few seconds that will, dodge all the planes and bullets and all that, and let you move out of harm's way. I never remember to do that because I am a dummy with this game. But anyway, let's put a few quarters in here because I plan to show off the continue feature at least once. Hopefully I will get at least past 1 level. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it actually does just railroad me and destroy me right off the bat. We'll see how that works out this time, huh? But when that says last 32 stage, that's kind of what it means. There are 32 stages in this game. You work your way backwards. There was an NES port of this game. It contained much the same music and the same idea. If you take 1 hit, you die. You collide with anything, you take a bullet, you die. Yeah, like that. And now I'm on my last life. And little gray pal that you get from the red plains gives you 4 bullets. There are other versions of this power-up. One, I don't know I can't move any further back than that. So that is slightly embarrassing. Only got about a third to, 40% of the shots. Or no, I shot down 39 planes, which is plenty. But anyway, continue feature. I did not take advantage of it really there, I don't think. Then again, I might have actually continued back from the very beginning of the game. As far as I know, you can continue unlimited times. And now let's see if I can at least clear the first stage. That would be a nice thing. But there were a few arcade games in this series, and over the next few weeks, that was way too close. I may actually see if I can let's peek at all of them. Yeah. Stop that. This is the first stage, you should not be this mean. But you shoot down the bigger planes, you get bigger points. As you might expect. The stages are also fairly long. There may only be 32 of them, but this game ain't kidding around with the difficulty. There's a lot of things going on screen. Those of you that remembered, I don't recall what the red POW does. It doesn't wipe out all enemies. There's a white power-up you get that does that. Then there's a brown one, which gives you a different power-up entirely, which, since I probably won't see what I'm playing here, what it does is it drops down a couple of little side planes that act as, they each fire an extra bullet out, and they also absorb 1 hit for you, if it hits a side. Unfortunately, this also means, yes, you are a big... Hey, almost to the first stage. This means you are a slightly larger target. Hey, 92% shot down. And a free life. Go me. So you see, it does behoove you a little bit score-wise to try to shoot down every plane that comes by, since you get a nicer score bonus at the end, and I'm missing a lot of planes here. I'm not going to get a great bonus at the end, assuming I make it that far. Because I take my eyes off where I am on screen and do things like that when I see the little white power up here, when I see the red planes. And the white power up, if there had been more planes on screen at the time, it would have... Dang it. Might actually break the preset in high score there. Which, back when I used to play this game in the arcades, was nothing. But these days, since, you know, I don't play this game very often, basically because the music, you hear that tweet, 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 tweet. Not to mention, get over here, thank you. Extra points are good. I did break the 40,000, so I'm not entirely unhappy with this, since I am just far enough out of practice that, well, I don't expect to do jack as far as actually getting anywhere near the end of this game. You know, I don't even think I'll get to the past the third level. I could easily get to it. See, here we go, as long as I don't die to that little wave right there. Yeah, 75%. Doesn't give you a huge bonus. And see, I also completely forget to use the freaking loops whenever I get the chance. Now this stage, if I recall correctly, yes, this is going to be the mean one, isn't it? The stage after this is actually really easy because just about nothing will fire at you. But this stage is actually really, really difficult. At least for me. Because, well, I'm not great at this game. But not having any competition from real people lets me do that. So let's see if I can continue enough to show you the fourth stage. Hold fire button, press start, and you get to start here. Okay. And there is this power-up. I managed to get to it. So it makes you a little bigger target for, you know, as long as it takes you to get your ships blown out of the sky. And you just kind of barely fit in between the shots the big bomber there lobs at you. If any of them had decided to fire right in the middle of the circle they were drawing around me, I would not have survived it. Red POW. Don't know what that does. Maybe it increases your bullet strength. I have no idea. I should look that up one of these days and see what it actually does. And I get that back. I think I just started back where I started with this life. I didn't actually advance any, which is kind of depressing. Boy, that went well. Guess I got a free life right there. And that was just embarrassing. I'm gonna try again. One more play, since this is a very short video otherwise. Come on, let me back in the game. Come on. Yep, exactly where I left off. So this game does have checkpoints of a kind. And when you spend your money and continue, it's not mean. It's mean enough to do that, but it's not mean enough to make you replay the entire stage from the beginning. It is mean enough to try to kill you right off the bat, though, and make you spend another quarter to continue exactly where you just left off. Don't let the game fool you with its cuddly. Hey, there's the ending. I just gotta get to the ending. 90%, huh? Interesting. So yeah, this stage, really, if you're paying any attention whatsoever, is not that difficult, because the only ships that are going to fire at you are going to be the bombers and the bigger, heavier craft. These little single-man fighters here really aren't going to do much to you. They're just going to fly down. As long as you don't actually touch them, you're fine. Although that said, some of them decide to get up off the... Some of them go off of the side of the screen before you can reach them. So getting 100% is nigh on impossible in just about any stage. And need to avoid getting eaten there. Shoot all those down for another red POW, which I have no idea what it does. Still. And I will say that the NES port of this was actually a pretty good game, but like I said, it's just the music in it was this the whole time. And I do have to admit that one time I did actually sit down for a full afternoon and beat the NES port. Oh yeah, I got to the ending, and I can't recall to this day what it was. I'm pretty sure it was just a basic congratulations screen. I still got 92% of them, despite me having to dodge the bomber there at the end. And this should be the end of my game, by a very long, long shot. Especially if I keep doing that, because your plane moves slower than you think it does. Your plane just moves just that touch slower than you think it does. So you think you can outrun a bullet, or smack right in the side of one, you'll be right then. But you think you can outrun a bullet, and no, you're not going to outrun the bullet. By no means will you outrun a bullet. I got my force shot back. And you see, the thing is, I can't give the game much grief about controls being bad or whatever. The only real complaint I have is the ship is a little sluggish. Your P-38 is just a tiny bit sluggish to perform fast, getaway maneuvering like you might need to. But other than that, the controls are, pretty much exactly what you need them to be. Get out of the way. Hey, one up. Right in time for me to lose my life. And the gray POW again. And that's me dying for one last time. 15 minutes of 1942. That's more than enough, at least for now. So anyway, yeah, this is actually one of my favorite arcade games, at least from way back in the day. Even if I'm just absolutely terrible at it and can't get very far before dying and having to spend another quarter and continue. But yeah, This is a solid little game. The controls are actually really dead on for what they needed, and it was a pretty solid start for, well, the franchise. The franchise of World War II scrolling plane shooters that Capcom had. Yeah, way back in the day when Capcom made good games. And they were still giving us Mega Man, which I never played. I played the second one, but that was about it. Anyway, take care, folks. I will see you back next week for, well, the next entry in this series. If I remember. So take care, everyone. I will see you back later for more.